I mean, I was able to move them, so.
Just gonna do one side.
Yes. You go first.
Confirm.
You always go first.
All right.
Done?
Right.
Done.
Ignition.
Joined up with the Space Force Foundation to provide the prize money for this, to make a really good incentive for teams to come in and try to solve some fundamental problems in what could be the transportation method of the future. NASA wants to inspire two areas in this competition. One, machines that can climb a thin ribbon way up and not carry their own power with them. The power has to come from the ground.
Well, the other half of this project, aside from the climber behind me, is the tether challenge, the tether strength challenge. And what that is, what we're trying to do is develop a 2-gram, 2-meter long tether, which would basically replace this ribbon once we would actually put it into space.
In the NASA Tether Challenge, material engineering teams pit their high-strength materials against one another, while also attempting to best the house standard. In the NASA Power Beaming Challenge, engineering teams combine their expertise to build high-climbing robotic machines that go up a tall ribbon. That poses an obstacle both teams are trying to address. To bring the right minds together to advance in the historic race to space, a new frontier of possibilities and resources from which the whole world will benefit. The idea for the space elevator was conceived in the year 1895 by Russian scientist Konstantin Tsiolkovsky, who had been inspired by the recent completion of the Eiffel Tower in Paris. Science fiction books were written based on this idea, to dream of easily traveling to outer space. In 2006, a team of materials and technologists from Sacramento, California, joined together in the Tether Challenge competition, stewarded by Spaceport. This organization is known as Team Aster Araignée. Led by founder Michael Remington, their mission is to create a new, more efficient method of travel.
Just gonna do one side.
Yes. You go first.
Confirm.
You always go first. Done?
Right.
Done.
Alright. Okay.
On my day job, I actually build rockets.
Alright. Kurt, could you help me clear the way through here?
Kurt Firestein, he's really been helpful with testing. He's got a pretty wide background in testing and lots of years of experience.
Okay. All right, so 25. All right. Okay.
Well, Michael started working for
for Aerojet, I don't know, I think about 2.5 years ago, and he was one of my customers. He still is one of my customers as far as my day-to-day work goes.
Oh, there's the little missus. She probably needs help bringing in the beer. Thanks, Brian. Doggone, this has got to start boiling any minute now.
Stay, and so.
I met up with the devil. She's at the bottom of the crucifix. I'm all right. Well, we have Dave Carroll. He's our newly added member, and he's going to be helping us out with the computer modeling and general computer science that we're working on. What's that? I met up with the devil. She's at the bottom of the crucifix. Well, I climbed to the top of it. I could see all of her crazy existence. I fell from grace. I was met there by... I met Mike at school when I was at UCLA. Let's see. And then he graduated and I dropped out. And then he went to work for Aerojet, and being as he's very much into space and space exploration, he just called me up one day after I'd moved back from LA to see if I wanted to go to a competition, an engineering competition. I thought, sure, why not? He decided he was going to participate, and I've just been going with him every year since.
Oh, I mean, I was able to move them, so.
Dave Ortiz, he's been helping us out with tooling and getting us materials that we have a hard time getting a hold of. He's been real helpful, saved the team a lot of money, and pushed us forward in times when we really wouldn't have been able to do so otherwise.
I'll put another bracket under there and just put a solid block under that.
I saw him when we were at the Cafe Espresso at lunchtime a couple of times, and I overheard somebody say that he was an Atlas engineer. And I can't do any RC flying when I'm working on the tether. Good. Oy. Nice. So, well, we definitely noticed it wanted to curve off to the left because the amount of effort required to make games and material technology for what's needed for space elevators is very demanding. And when you already have full-time jobs, it's all you can do to just keep things moving, and you don't have time for any other hobbies.
Come on now. It's quite the monumental occasion. A lot of my friends have been waiting for me to brew beer for a long time. There's a long story to it. It all started with the first Gulf War. I hadn't brewed beer in a long time, and that's when I had met my friend at work who showed me how to scratch brew, and I figured that first Gulf War kind of scared the hell out of me. You know, I thought it was gonna, the world was gonna end, because of us going into Iraq. And, I thought that's where the cradle of civilization started, and that's where it would end, or the starting of the end would start. And so I figured as long as I was brewing beer, the world wouldn't end. Then we invaded Iraq, and so it's like, okay, now's a good time to start brewing again.
Remember, Brad's out there just checking his radio. It's okay, but the track is closed for practice.
Oh, the racing, that was fun. Every time we won, between all the crowds, everything cheering for us and signing autographs, like I was telling you, we had, so many races, and we only had one third place, about 2 or 3 second places. All the rest were first place. And every time we'd go out there, we had everybody just standing cheering, and it was great.
I'll get up close with the engine. I'll give you a little demonstration.
Yeah!
That's the engine.
There it is.
But I think we had the center of gravity fairly centered on that for the month go.
Had so much, only so much time to devote to things like mowing the lawn and trimming the trees and taking care of my son that there just wasn't any time for brewing.
Home in San Jose, ain't my dust. I left LA, and I don't know if I'll be heading back that way. No.
I got 2 electric guitars, I think, when I was a sophomore in high school. My dad found them in the dumpster at work when he was throwing something away. So he's like, Dave would like that, so he gave it to me.
I had to run. I picked up post once more, chasing down the sun. I woke up in a hospital bed, doctors working on me, and they said,
for the other guys on the team who have, a wife and kids, or I think it's a little more stressful.
Teddy, are you having fun? Teddy's our special little guy.
Sounds like he's having a blast.
Oh, yeah. Yep, you can tell when he jumps and flaps. Ted's autistic.
Okay.
Yeah, he's 11 years old. He was diagnosed with autism when he was about 2. Got him in a good early program.
Ever. You would have said, why wasn't I with her? Because I have to Jimmy Jack and look at, oh, honey, look at this thing that we can't even afford. Look at this toaster does flip-flops.
I'm not a shopper.
Oh, God, he hates. He's like,
I hate shopping. Hate shopping. Unless it's at the brew store.
and then threw it on the ground to watch it splash. Yeah, that's the bad part about autism. They do really quirky stuff at weird times. At least he doesn't dump it on the computer. So I got that going for me. Yeah, Kurt hasn't brewed beer in a long time because our son, Theodore, who's our gift from God, that's why his name's Theodore, has autism. And so we've been really busy making him, shaping him, and he just takes a lot of time. And this morning we finally fired up the stove. Sure enough, I think Ted started to throw something in the water, so you can't leave stuff unattended. But with the population of autism being 1 in every 150, it's going to affect a lot more families, and you still have to do what you want to do as a family and go for what you love to do.
But he's a good kid. That's a noisemaker.
Yeah. Let you know he's there.
Oh, yeah. Of course, what kid isn't?
Yeah.
It's a good thing.
We got it up to about 60, 68 miles an hour. As soon as we got around turn 4, some guy came around on the inside and just tapped the driver backside bumper. That's all it took was a little tap. We lost traction of the backside of it. We just completely went slide right into the wall at 68 miles an hour and slammed it so hard. I mean, lucky the car didn't hit head on or anything, but it was flush, and I was on the passenger side. And that's when the roll bars, everything cracked up. Ooh, he just hit that. Did you see?
Like that?
Okay, like that? It's like, am I really in racing right now?
It gets pretty tedious very quickly. But I don't really have the best tool here. Let me try like this. I got a little flat spot here that can kind of settle in on that flat spot. So I might just use the corner here to make it a little bit better than a fulcrum. Well, fulcrum usually has to do with a balance of moments, where kind of like on a seesaw. And the fulcrum is the point at where the moments are created. So you got one person on one side of the seesaw, you got another person on the other side of the seesaw, and the point on which they rotate about is the fulcrum.
It's a balancing act.
Yeah! Yeah, come check it out!
No conflict on it because I like that tether so much. It's so interesting because it's so new to me.
Knowing that you were the one that helped create, a new material, I think that's really rewarding too.
Spending your 8-hour or 10-hour days working, trying to get my projects going for work, and then spending my own time another 4 hours or going on weekends and stuff, and that's our own time.
The only time I have to devote to this stuff is at night from like 9 p.m. to 11, and that's practically it because I work 7 days a week,
Cause I'm home in San Jose, and in my dust I left LA, and I don't know if I'll be heading back that way.
Going to the Las Cruces.
In the United States, year 2005, NASA, along with the Space Word Foundation, began to engineer these ideas to life. This movement is known as the Space Elevator 2010 project.
This is for the game. Assuming the meter is stable, we don't have to worry about it.
All right, coming through.
So Astro, they're the only ones in the game.
Dude, this is big. Come here.
We are trying to make a tether that is very, very close to the limit. It's not as easy as it sounds. We have these, when you make rope breaking is difficult. And when you gotta use things shift in you, and over time things change.
We're breaking out the mighty tether.
The tether is basically a rope. It's sort of its application. Tetherball is like the epitome of this example here. Is I think everybody's played tetherball when they're in elementary school, and you whack that ball and it just goes spinning outwards, and that's that motion. You can use the same thing with a tether attached to the earth. It's that motion that using centripetal acceleration to actually, and centrifugal force, to actually draw the tether taut and fight the force of gravity that has always been exerted on it. The only thing that kept it from happening before is that it effectively has to carry all of the weight of the tether below it, and that's a long length. It needs to go out to about 60,000 miles. It's just a culmination of a year's worth of work. Just imagine if you're a basketball player, and instead of training to play 20 to 30 games per year, you trained all year long just for one game.
That Bob's over there scooping. All right, what are you doing, Bob?
Bob Berlucci, he's a filament winding specialist, and he's been working with composites for about 25 years. And he knows pretty much everything there is to make it a composite case, any parts that really require real specialized skills in this area.
You can go get that weight?
Yeah, you need that
Wait, we took it off.
Oh yeah, 197, just like the other one. Greg Fazio, he's an analytical chemist. He's been with me from the very beginning, and he's a great sounding board. We bounce ideas back and forth together, and we really get into the nuts and bolts and get through the creative end of it and come up with solutions.
Yeah, we probably won't be able to get to sleep after we're done.
Michael is a very, how should I say, outgoing person. He's very enthusiastic.
See, I never worked with him, but the love and the drive of the project, man, this guy gets stuff going. He is the carburetor, the gas pedal, the accelerator, the crankshaft. Dude.
Pretty good team captain.
Well, you're the spark plug. I mean, things you have to do. It's an engine.
Probably do this, and it kind of gives them a little, heads up, and it's like, okay, well, we could go this way, So he's really good at taking a lot of people's suggestions and ideas and stuff like that.
It's all about creating something, whether it's music or art or engineering. It's about taking some seed of an idea and creating something real with it.
I think I like to call it beer and coffee wavelength.
Beer and coffee wavelength?
I guess I'll have the last hit of coffee and try a beer now.
Who's your favorite filmmaker?
Different stages of beer making.
That's right. There are 2 steps involved in making beer. And like I say, beginning home brewers usually don't mash too much. They just work with an extract that's already been mashed, and they just add it to boiling water for an hour, and add hops every now and then just add your yeast when it's cool and ferment it. We're making a porter. It's a dark beer, generally made with ale yeast, not necessarily though. Generally, it's a full-bodied beer with perhaps a little dry hopping, not very much, and Dry hopping is when you add hops in the fermenter and you don't boil them. But typically you don't dry hop a porter.
There's a center of gravity. That's looking a lot better than before. Before it was a little far forward, right about here. So hopefully that'll get this aircraft stable, so that when we put it up this afternoon, it will stay up for longer than a second. That's for so.
So you can count on it.
Yeah. I want to be Captain Kirk, of course. Yeah, I want to be steering that ship. We're going towards that black hole over there. Full speed ahead.
You don't want to be a Scotty, huh?
No, no.
Beam me up, Scotty.
No, I'm not really an engineer at heart. I'm an engineer by necessity. To make space travel happen.
Oh.
Yeah, you gotta have a ship before you can fly it. Hey, we're gonna be calm, cool, collected, professional. We're gonna stay to all our techniques. We're not gonna let anything untwist. We're gonna just take our time. No rush.
I'm in a hurry. This is the money round. This is what all these race nights were about.
We're the big show. Everybody can wait on us.
This is no minor foray here. This is material science. We're pushing the boundaries of technology as it stands.
What this is all about. There's another
Hey, we gotta beat the house tether.
Yeah, man. I'm on it.
Yeah.
The real challenge is going to be beating the house tether. It's just like in Vegas. The house has the odds right from the start.
So if you beat the house tether, what's the prize? 200 grand.
Need a little bit of slack. There's a snag.
Oh, okay.
Wait, and there's another right here. Thank you. Are you on there?
Yeah, I'm on it.
Alright. Okay, now I need a little bit of slack. Alright, look at that. Alright. Nothing up your sleeve. Alright. Slow, slower next time though, please. Because it was really jerking.
Down slow now?
What's up? You're on top of the bottom. There you go. Hold on, more slack, please. More slack. I need a beer.
In the back of your mind, it actually affects you, and it makes you sometimes when you're tired, you've been working 60 hours a week, and you're debating, well, should I go home and go to bed, get some rest, maybe get over this cold I've been fighting for the last 3 weeks, or should I go in the lab and try to make something great happen for a few hours?
Yeah, in the morning I always get my coffee or a mocha or whatever to get me going for work through the day, and by the end of the day it's like, okay, you know, the coffee's wearing off, I want to go home, relax, and you grab the beer, and then it's like, oh, that's like a total meltdown right there.
We were all watching the computer and load all his files, and we were just thinking, no.
Should you be on the floor crossing your feet to the end of it? No. I even had my call, didn't I?
Yeah, well,
I don't remember.
no. It was really odd because we were doing it for like 15 minutes.
So how many times do you use a guitar to romance your girl?
Every girl, hey, I write a song for every girl.
You strum the strings for her.
This is one song that gets all the girls.
Really? What song is that play?
No, there's one for every girl.
I mean, you gotta have free time to just do whatever you need to do, whether it's unwinding just from a long week or something like that. You gotta make sure you keep your sanity.
And then we started goofing off. I'm surprised you didn't have a camera when we were boxing around.
Oh man, that's scary. How do you do this?
That's it. All right. Nah, I can't hit left-handed. All right. What did you pretend? I got a jab here, and then like so. That's always good. Oh, like that. Yeah.
Kill me early. You can stay and raise your great. Oh my God, I cannot play enough.
Maybe about
You know what I mean? Well, yeah. Some guy, I was standing outside the fence watching the players get in a bus on a road tour, and I was just standing out there with my friend, and then some guy walks up to me and wants me to sign his baseball. So I was like, oh, okay, cool. I don't know what the hell. Okay, so I autographed this baseball. And then all of a sudden, all the guys that were on the Giants bus start looking out the window going, who the hell is that? You know, it was like my great one shallow moment of time of greatness. Which I made the Giants wonder who it was just some guy trying to freak me out. But it was like, yeah, I'll sign your baseball. So somewhere I have an autographed baseball with my name on it. Yeah, it was 1987, so it's been 20 years, but yeah, so I've had a good life.
Add it in there.
It smells really good, by the way, people.
Well, I mean, I've been out of school for about 3 years now, and I'm about ready to. I think I've lived life and figured out what I want out of life and all that enough to where going back to school to finish my degree is definitely the best choice I can make.
I shook his hand right before he was murdered by his wife. I tell the story of a child, how she made him smile.
This test makes me very nervous because I'm going to be giving away this check potentially. And this is one of the only points where in the next couple minutes I'm going to find out whether or not we're going to give away $200,000. And I'm amazed how nervous I am because it's not my money.
We won't feel bad.
135, 45, yeah, 53,
nervous, Bob?
230, 505, 520, 995, 1,000, 1,100, 1332, 1332.
The one, but this was probably one of the better numbers we've seen with this process of making a tether. Probably one of the better ones you've seen too. It's a really close result, but the house tether did weigh 50% more. This was a better tether, but this sum of money is going to go to somebody who can do 50% better. It's a big jump.
Came in, saw their design, thought we might have a pretty good chance of winning it, and so when we were up there at 1,300 pounds, we thought, you know, just 100 more pounds, and we might have it, and just didn't turn out that way. So, we'll get ready for the next year's competition.
I mean, publicly have the strongest rope in the world. I mean, how does that feel? I mean, to just know that right now, that you guys have the strongest and lightest rope in the world.
It's an amazing feat.
Stuff that we came with last year was, I guess, the world's strongest cable.
A specific strength greater than anything else there is today.
The margin of strength that we have above the next strongest rope is pretty good, but it's not so great as to where you can rest your hat on it yet, you know? We might be there, but we have a long way to go. We shouldn't rest on our laurels, and we should be pedal to the metal to outdo ourselves.
Tether versus Astro Air.
Astro Air.
It's not that hard, really.
Hey, last year I was the only one not able to say it. Now everybody's sort of picked up on it. Everybody's evolved and are not able to pronounce it.
Maybe, everybody I talked to, they seem to have fun. So far, the only people who really had repeated issues with pronouncing the name has only been Ben, maybe the NASA official, Ken Davidian, and our competition. But other than that, all our team members and even folks who just came up to us at our booth at the competitions, just give them a one quick once through with the pronunciation, and most people had it.
What we do currently today far exceeds the strength of Spiderweb. Why would you name your team Space Spiders?
Well, we named our team name Team Astro Air because
I think they were just trying to rib us, just to give us it was just a little sport type humor. The limits were boundless, but we wanted to come up with something original, something aggressive at the same time, since it is a competition, and something that related to what we're trying to do. And out of the mix, I just sort of pieced together some Greek and some some Latin, just relating the fact that we're working on very advanced materials, which until recently that was the realm of spiders. Spiders pretty much had that under wraps. That was their realm. High strength, the high weight material to the low weight materials. That was spiders had the technology. But now we're taking over that role. We've surpassed the technology that spiders have developed over possibly, most likely, millions of years. And now we're accelerating in our development at a high pace. And we're using that to make not just webs, but tethers in space. And so that's where the relationship came from, where we're basically acting as space spiders. Team Astro Air in the A. Team Astro Air in the A, that should do it. And if anybody asks me if they said it correctly, I'll say that's perfect.
Our competition, they said anywhere from 4 to 5 o'clock, or more than likely 5 o'clock.
Pretty great for the competition right now, this weather? Oh, too low?
Yeah, it's too low.
Yeah.
Technology is there for the rib that's there, but not the manufacturing. Like, we know the material exists, we know it's strong enough, but nobody's been able to manufacture more than like a couple of feet length, right? So then you just gotta figure out how to how to monitor yourself 200 miles of it, figure out how to bring that 200 miles into space, and then it's just like fiddling with the details of like how are you gonna make your. Why do you think that most people compete in this competition versus the other competition? Because it moves, it's fun, you know? Because the robot is going to be climbing up and coming back down, and you have all these robot things, and shiny things, and buses that move. This sort of competition involves more, like, more broader, it involves different kinds of engineering as well. You have mechanical, electrical, architectures, computer engineers working on this thing, whereas that it's mainly focused on materials engineering. The reason why we chose this over the competition? None of us are serious. Well, actually, it just started out. One guy for our team started the whole thing. He just heard about the human power competition. He's an engineer in physics, and the tether competition is more materials.
We're not material scientists, so designing a carbon nanotube base or any other kind of material is not within our expertise.
We're Utah like, actually. Yeah. So.
The problem is also, I mean, you're looking at 400 feet. If it's the wind, you get this thing catching in the wind, you kind of go what's going on. But the weather's crappy. There's no wind today, but it's like sprinkling. Yesterday, it was clear, but there was wind. So we're kind of just at the mercy of the gods here. We can put things out into space a lot cheaper. We can send out a satellite that's basically just a huge array of mirrors, and you can collect all the sunlight from out there. Is a lot more powerful because it doesn't have to go through the atmosphere, and you have direct sunlight with nothing in your way. And basically, as big an array of mirrors you want to put up there that collects all that sunlight and just beams straight down to Earth instead of wasting, land space with all the mirrors trying to collect. So you got something up there that's doing it out of our eyesight. It's not a big old eyesore, and it's sending that energy down. It's free energy straight from the sun. You don't have to pay for nothing except for collecting and sending it down. Once energy becomes cheap and freely available like that, no more power outages.
And it says about 150 degrees, a little lower than I would have liked, but that's all right. Okay, and here we go with the beer in there. Hey, Kenny, could you come hold this right here? Oh, that's sorry. It's all right, you're doing fine. Yeah. There you go, perfect. Oh, come on, Robin.
As long as it's flowing, I don't care. I had a problem and I had to switch coolers. That's going okay. It's a little slower than I'd like, but every new system has its drawbacks.
Yeah, I don't know what's wrong. Is there something to the hydraulics? I think there's a hydraulic leak. I'm not sure. I'm not. Yeah, that's what it looked like when I saw you guys around. It looked like a hydraulic leak. If this thing's going to work, that's what I'm worried about.
Yeah, the washer's supposed to go in there? Supposed to? Yeah.
See that, Michael? So next, what? Sharp cut here.
Trying to make sure that we can prevent any premature failures like what happened last year, and or any conditions that might cause the test results not to be valid. Yeah. That's probably it.
Because you have one off a little bit here, one off a little there, and you start seeing kind of a tilted line. You want a perfectly parallel line. That'll give you the max accuracy, and because when you get a little tilted line, it just starts to pull pressure. It starts pulling, and it'll start separating that string, and it'll start snapping everywhere, and then that's when you lose it. I'm surprised they didn't do a lot of test runs and dry runs on that thing. Oh yeah. You don't build something brand new and just bring it in there and then expect to have a competition like this right off the bat.
As soon as that tether, they put that machine right there in the front. All the people came around, the cameras, the media, you guys were there. And it's like, this has got to happen. I'm not going to sit there and have all this go. And without helping them, then I would have felt bad. But as soon as I helped them out, everything was lined up, everything was great. It all worked out. I felt really good about it.
With this autism, it's a challenge that it's similar to tether in that it's a long road to success, and he's coming along great.
Look at him thinking, what's 7 plus 3? All right, what's 7 times 3? 7 times 3 is 21.
There you go.
1, 2, 3. Yeah. Just to give it. Oh man. If you want, you can drive over here and meet me.
I can't go this way, I don't think. No.
know, we're always looking for something to make it go faster. It's either carburetor or you could go, you know, fuel injection and stuff like that. With the tether, it's the same thing. You know, you're always looking for better processes, stronger. There's always something out there that you have to research and look for to make it better. So.
I'm trying to find out where the plug's at. Michael pretty much explained to me his process and what he's been doing and stuff like that. So I've been learning slowly but surely, still learning, and still don't even know half of it yet. Where do you think it might have landed exactly? I'm thinking right inside this gully pouch right in there. Oh yeah.
Oh God, I thought that was it right there.
I remember hearing the Army was putting some serious money into flight research. They had built a scale model of an actual airplane that would fly, but they didn't understand the relationship that in scaling up to a large aircraft. And you just can't do that. It's not linear.
Man, this brush is so thick.
Well, the Wright brothers, even though they didn't have tons of money and they didn't have the resources that the Army had, they had the basic tools necessary. They had a bicycle shop. They were familiar with mechanics. And instead, they just took a different approach.
Hey, that's a good idea. Okay. Okay, bye. Kane says, can you stop the video, go back, and kind of see where the plane landed? We can get a good eye of it and see where it landed.
The person who may not have a ton of money may actually figure out that, you know what, you guys should be looking over here. And he can wave his hand and then get the Army to join in on his path instead of just marching down in the other direction, which may not be the way we need to go.
The process is how they had a cure for cancer. And it was just one little mistake by that little thing of sugar, I think it was, from an ant from a plant. I says, and all of a sudden he comes up with this big cure. I says, hey, you never know, maybe we could do something, and there might be a mistake that something goes into the process, and next thing you know, we got something really strong, or something like that might happen. So, what the hell is that? Oh, that's a rocket. I thought it was it, but it's a rocket. So we found a rocket. That's pretty cool. I think it's the wrong one that he needs. Should I just take it with us and hey, Michael, we could replace it with a rocket?
I find it a lot more interesting working on the space elevator because I truly believe that this has the ability to have a much greater impact in the near future than rockets has, because rockets have had their opportunity. They had full doors open to doing whatever they were capable of doing, and they got us to the moon. They could get us to Mars if we wanted to, but they are expensive beyond belief.
Well, that's how it starts. Come in and figure out what the heck am I going to do today. And more than anything, I've been working on the living room.
Yeah,
long day, huh?
Yeah, it has been a long day, as you can see already. Being that it's nighttime, it's long day. It's been a long couple of days because it's taking me that long to get ready to do this. Like I say, being out of the swing of it for so long, it's kind of unbelievable. All the stuff I forgot, all the stuff you had to go through to get this job done. I'll tell you what, shall we add these right now?
Yeah, that's fine.
I don't think it's a problem. I'm gonna gently flop this baby up. There we go. Okay, and there's our next half ounce of hops. Not half ounce, but an ounce rather. At the 30-minute mark. And we're gonna stir that in.
Basically just my artistic side. I get some of that with engineering and being able to design things and come up with an idea and make it something real. But it's probably it. Music and art is something that's been on the back burner for a long time.
This all happens for a reason, no. How can you say that this all happens for a reason?
Just not be afraid, just jump in and do it, you know? Take the hacksaw of that fight. Don't be afraid to cut into it. yeah, I'm working at learning how to fix the house up.
You know, if it weren't for the space elevator competition, I wouldn't have any motivation to go back into engineering and try and finish my degree. It's all because, you know, Mike decided to bring me to that first competition, and I've been going back every year. And
best friend killed himself today, and he was all that would go his way, and it was hard when his family found him in his room. Monday I was talking to my mother. Tuesday she was in the hospital. My brother told me that she was gonna die. Now can you say that this all happens for a reason? No, no. How can you say that this all happens for a reason? No, no.
In the box on the floor under the table, there should be a silver set of Allen. It's going to take a while.
It's going to take quite a bit of time because, again, we have to get up to on the order of 350.
This is a little bit over 2 meters in length, as I mentioned before, 1.96 grams. Just single-walled nanotubes. Probably some double-walled nanotubes in the mix as well, but it's the majority is single-walled nanotubes.
The best way to explain it is if anybody's familiar here with graphite and pencils, the lead in your pencil. The lead in your pencil is graphite, and it's these layers of carbon sheets that actually can slide right past each other, and that's what makes them so slippery. Well, instead of having these sheets parallel to each other and just sliding, you take one of those sheets, you roll it into an actual cylinder, and you merge the seam, sort of weld it per se, and that tube that you have made of a graphene sheet is a carbon nanotube.
While we're waiting for the space fighters to
know how to resolve its nanostructure. We need to understand the physical chemistry because how is the process which grows nanotubes? We need to...
Okay, here we go. 100 is on the scale.
What's your coefficient of friction?
That is pumping. Whoa, it went! I was looking at the thing.
I think you're not. Yep.
The knot slipped.
That was what they were saying.
That was a double fisherman knot.
Three sponsors, Nanopop, MIT, and the Students for the Exploration and Development of Space. So SEDS is a student group at MIT, and we just get a little bit of travel budget from them. MIT provides us with our facilities and our graduate life, and Nanocomp provides the rest. So we just happen to find the right sponsor who's interested in making this happen. It's not as hard as these guys who have to raise a lot more money.
You can throw as much money as you want at anything, but you also have to have the right minds behind it. You have to have the right line of thinking.
Okay, we're at 25. Okay. That was it. Okay, Delta X has lost spectacularly.
We couldn't have done what we've done so far without sponsorship. That's the bottom line. And it does require some money. And if we were individually wealthy ourselves, then we could just do what's necessary. And there hasn't been a whole lot. And we do need some minimal amount of support.
We knew we had pretty much the strongest rope in the world. And we wanted to come out here and prove that. But as it stands, the bar has been set to a level where we are not able to compete against the house tether. There's just really no point.
Since carbon nanotubes had just come on the scene, that we should be able to easily, every year, increase the strength of our materials by 50%. And it's sort of an assumption that they built into the contest. Tell you, but our designs are proprietary right now. I can't talk about it too much because I might get
trouble with my employer? Well,
certainly contribute to other areas of technology that require those high strengths structures anywhere where you use a composite fiber around the idea that this material may be used in bridge manufacture.
Not unless you need a beer. Here. My wife leave you. Here. Sorry.
Oh, they're cool.
Sorry to be a good wife. Yeah.
It's kind of like that,
There. Okay. Now, we're going to do this here. Okay. Boy, that's some dark looking beer, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Yep. Okay, is that bent over too much? Yeah, it is. There we go. That's a little far. Okay, we're going to keep that. Let me go get that yeast culture.
This is the one it's the real one that's going to be mounted on it. I gotta put it somewhere if it don't get too dirty. It has already the Aerojet logo. It's been lasered in there. Huh. This is just a sample of the wood that's already.
Okay. Now, set that there. And let me go get a piece of foil here real quick. What did I do with that? I'm running around like a chicken with my head cut off. Oh dear. Do we know what she did with the foil? She's trying to put it back. I bet you she did. Hold on, I'll be right back.
And back.
Yeah, looks like about a 1/4 inch.
Yeah, if we go 1/4 of an inch each, move the whole back, and then we can pull these tight.
Okay, I don't have any foil, but this will do. I just want to be able to splash this around a bit without touching the rim. Come on off of there. There we go. Okay.
So, appreciation of Aerojet sponsoring us, and we'll have all the team members' names down there. And that's about it. Hopefully they'll like it.
Just a shade more. Okay. And let's put that back in there for now. Take that baby, we're going to set him right there. Okay.
There's a lot of pride in brewing.
Yeah, well, when you wait so long to brew, it's, the pride is there, but it's certainly on the back burner. We'll see how it turns out. Then, when people say how delicious it is, then we'll definitely enjoy some of that pride.
So we're just sort of recuperating. It's sort of like the week after finals, or maybe after a very hard spring break or something, and we're just recuperating and getting ready for the next year.
You got surprises? You kidding? Yeah? Nice. More than you'll get. Oh, wow. Yeah, both statements.
I'm not in this for the money. Anybody who works in the aerospace industry will tell you that. If we were to put the same amount of sweat and tears and blood into any other venture, we'd most likely make magnitudes of more money than we do in the aerospace industry. We do it for the passion.
We got a couple of ribbons here that we won at the state fair. These are third place ribbons. Let's see, I believe the category for one was absolutely porter, and the other was a Bach category. So third place ribbons. Bach is one of my favorite beers. It was certainly fun to compete at the state fair.
It's not like the Manhattan Project here, where we're all assigned to work on this 24/7, and our mission is to make the atomic bomb within just a few months or so. We're doing this on our free time. When other folks may be watching Top Chef or or just making a really nice dinner or something. We're over there in the lab just fooling around.
Creating a new, innovative way to get into space, and certainly doing that would be incredibly rewarding and be beyond the money, knowing that you helped absolutely pioneer a key element to attaining this goal of making a space elevator.
Young people like me, and then there was, old guys, old shaggy, long-haired ponytail guys, who do engineering in their basements or something. And there's just all kinds of different people there that were all interested in the same goal, the money. No, they were all motivated by, space exploration and the fact that it could be a reality in our lifetimes, I mean, and not space exploration like we have it now, but like real serious, getting way out there kind of stuff.
We do it for the passion. We do it for the excitement of space exploration and what possibilities may lay out before us. And that's what I'm here to do. I want to build a space elevator. I want to ride the space elevator in space. And I wanted to make it possible for me maybe to go visit Europa in another 10 years, see how the weather is there, skip over to Io, see what's happening in the spring, and then maybe come back to Earth and enjoy a nice balmy Southern Californian summer after that. And I mean, why limit yourself to the Earth when you have so many other possibilities?
This is Jeremy, aka Mr. Variety. The Sims 9, 10. Give me 5, 6, 7. Can I get that like this? Now I'm going to go ahead and just hold it down on the area. You know, I'm going to cut this side first so that it's driest first. That side's been sitting the longest, been the most relaxed and situated. So I think that side will be easier to cut. I just need to make the same measurements from this, the center of the waistband, all the way, center of the edge of the waistband, all the way down to the center of the edge of the fabric. Scan the code.
It's called Livewire, and it's coming up with some wonderful guests. We have some people who are talking about some absolutely scientific, astronomical inventions that are really coming to fruition. They may have been science fiction in the past, but science fiction has a way of becoming reality, as you well know. Then I have a wonderful John Farias is going to play us a couple of songs on his steel-strung guitar, and we're going to have a really great show. It's called Livewire, so stay tuned right on this channel, right here. Sit down, get something to write with, and enjoy yourself. Team Astro Arañae. We have today a filmmaker and a founder, Mr. Michael Remington, who is a founder of this organization, a co-founder, I suppose you would say.
Sure.
Right? And you, young man, are making a film about this idea. Is that correct?
Yes.
Great.
Started in 2006.
You did. And it's now made into a film, and it's coming up real soon.
There'll be a showing of it on Thursday. It's a 1-hour feature film. It'll be in collaboration with presentation by the AIAA, which is IAAA, American Institute of Aeronautics and Astronautics.
He's touching on the theme of our talk.
That's right.
Which is something astronomical, right?
That's
Tell
it.
me, explain what the mighty tether is and a space elevator. What is it?
Well, Mighty Tether is the title of the film that was based on some of the work that we've been doing with the space elevator. And the basic concept is that if you actually had a cable that ran out into space, up through geosynchronous orbit, and stayed over one point on the Earth at all times, that is something you could climb up, either mechanically, most likely, and be able to start going into space, launching cargo for a very inexpensive cost.
Yeah.
That's the big push.
So
it could lower costs by almost a factor of 100.
How far up is that to put something in a geosynchronous orbit?
Well, most geosynchronous orbits are approximately 36,000 kilometers high above the Earth and in a circle. And so you could put a satellite anywhere on that circle that is 36,000 kilometers out from the very center of the Earth. And but with the space elevator, you actually have to have your center of mass, which is, if you were to balance the tether out on something, say, it's just like if you were to have a seesaw, where would that point be where it would stay stable? It wouldn't tilt anymore. That's the center of mass. Well, the center of mass needs to be close to geo so that it can act like it's a geosynchronous satellite and stay put. So to do that, you actually either have to have more mass on the far end of the space elevator tether, or you can just have the tether keep going out further than geosynchronous, so that it will add up in weight.
So but it goes out into space. Would it stay in place out there as well? Would you have to how would you tether it down there?
That's the plan.
I love this.
It'd be a real expensive exercise if not. But the plan is, once the material's available, and that's the main technological surge that we're working on to make this happen, and which is the reason why we haven't really seriously thought about doing it in the past until we actually had a molecule that was discovered in the 1990s. But based on this molecule, if we make the material necessary for this space elevator cable, then what we most likely would do is get spools of it. The current design is about 3 spools, and launch that with conventional rockets into space, and then de-spool the tether down to Earth, sort of like fishing from space, and then lock it down, anchor it, and that would be
our first
your starting point.
It's great. It's fascinating. How did you become fascinated in this idea?
Oh, well, I've always been interested in space exploration, and I've always wanted to do it myself, but the astronaut corps is very small, highly selective, and so the chances of actually doing that, I could see just starting out as a high school student, was probably very small. But I was still interested in space transportation, space exploration, so I went into the field. And after 4 or 5 years of actually getting my aerospace engineering degree at UCLA, I've heard many different expansions, or they expounded upon many topics in terms of what you could do to get into space. And it wasn't until I heard about the space elevator that I heard something that might actually work and be cheap enough for many people to get into space in our lifetime.
Great. Well, I'll be watching for it. It is very interesting. And Jeremy, you tell me, how did you just finished doing a documentary, which you're just about to show to folks, and we're going to be able to look at a little bit of it, right?
Yes.
Yeah. All right.
2 minutes.
So tell me, just how did you become interested and excited enough to do a documentary, which is no mean feat?
Well, at first, my partner and I just went to the X Prize Cup located in Las Cruces, New Mexico, and kind of we're exploring the whole excitement of the space elevator and the idea where they have the climber competitions where all these climbers are kind of climbing up. You have thousands of people just staring up for no apparent reason until you look up and you're like, this is the advent of new technology and new travel. I mean, imagine the railroad tracks before they were built.
Yeah, and that concept of people saying, what, string iron across the United States? String iron? Two strands of iron? That sounds illogical.
And then the person who does it is the founder of Stanford, one of our local colleges here.
Good. So let's have a look at some of these clips, and we'll talk about them as soon as we come back from that.
Sounds good.
Okay, all right. Watch this.
tether basically is a rope. It's sort of its application. The same thing with a tether attached to the earth. It's that motion, using centripetal acceleration to actually, and centrifugal force, to actually draw the tether taut and fight the force of gravity that has always been exerted on it. The only thing that kept it from happening before is that it effectively has to carry all of the weight of the tether below it, and that's a long length. It needs to go out to about 60,000 miles.
Just gonna do one side.
Yes. You go first.
Confirm?
You always go first. Done?
That's right.
Done.
It's not that hard, really.
Hey, last
It's
year I was the
phonetic.
only one not able to say it. Now everybody sort of picked up on it. Everybody devolved and are not able to pronounce it.
Maybe, well, everybody I talked to, they seem to have fun.
Team Astro Aranea. Team Astro Aranea, that should do it. And if anybody asks me if they said it correctly, I'll say that's perfect.
It's tiny snips of an hour-long documentary put together by Jeremy and his partners for your delectation tomorrow night, actually. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
And where is that going to happen?
That'll be happening at the California Aerospace Museum. It's in
McClellan. What used to be McClellan Air Force Base.
Yeah.
And we'll be starting at 6:30. We'll be having food served. And we're going to have a brief lecture by myself on the actual topic of the space elevator.
Great.
We're going to have a lot of rocket scientists there and teachers and all sorts of folks. And then we'll have the film at around 7:30. And we haven't reached capacity yet, so we're still taking RSVPs.
Great, folks. So you do have to RSVP, and that's very important. But it's at McClellan, and it's tomorrow night at 6:30. If you've ever had that kind of, inkling to be around people who are firsters, people who are saying, I don't care if it doesn't, it's never been done before. We're going to try to do it, and that's what you guys are doing.
That's it exactly.
Well,
somebody has to do it.
Somebody has to do it.
On the edge of your seat and on the edge of science.
Yeah. I find it is a great thing to see these breakthroughs, and even we were talking about looking at the history of rocket science. We were talking about Professor Goddard in the early 20th century shooting small rockets and trying to understand rocket science. And
it's been around a long time now.
Yeah.
One of the founding fathers of rocketry is a Russian named Tsiolkovsky. And a lot of folks don't know about him, but he actually established some of the founding equations for rocketry to prove that we could actually get into space, what was the speed that you needed to get up to get into space. And they put forward the principles of using a hydrogen and oxygen rocket, which is what we use right now as our space shuttle. Wow. And he did this back before the 20th century. And
before the 20th century.
Before the 20th century in the woods right outside of Moscow.
Wow. Well, we're out of time, but I want to thank you, Michael, and thank you, Jeremy, to come to talk to me about this. And I think it's a really special kind of thing that's happening, not only in your lives, but in America, and where science is reaching towards some aspects of understanding the universe and being able to reach in many ways towards the universe. And people who have dreams of traveling in outer space through your early life, you might get your chance, right?
I think so. I think this is a very exciting time in human history. and I'm glad to be here to be with it.
All right. Well, good luck with you on your film. We'll talk to you guys later sometime. Come on back. It's good, and let me know how the film turned out.
We will. We'll give a great follow-up.
All right.
Definitely.
Good. All right. Well, we're going to take a short break here, and I have some very important messages for you. And we're going to be back, and we're going to talk to Ron Cooper about a place called Sacramento, which is a film series that's produced here in Sacramento. And then also we're going to have a wonderful musician, John Farias, who's going to play some great songs for us. So stay tuned for Live Wire.
My name's Brandon. I'm 9 years old, being alcoholic.
Hi, Brandon.
I'll start drinking with the older kids. And whatever they do, I'll do.
Kids who drink before age 15 are 5 times more likely to have alcohol problems when they're adults. So start talking before they start drinking.
I know it'll start with alcohol. I'm just not sure how it's gonna end.
Drivers face all kinds of distractions.
Guys, stop playing now. 127 consecutive.
Before your wireless phone becomes one of them, stop. Drive safely. Keep your phone in easy reach and dial sensibly. In bad weather or traffic, call later and use a hands-free device. Remember, with wireless, safety is your call.
This is a man who almost learned to walk at a rehab center that almost got built by people who almost gave money. Almost gave. How good is almost giving? About as good as almost walking.
Hello. Thanks for tuning in. Check out this channel. Who Needs Designers on YouTube. Still need to set up the channel. but I got the Gmail set up. Who Needs Designers with an S at gmail.com. That's WHONEEDSDESIGNERS at gmail.com. Who Needs Designers at gmail.com. Hope you like my shirt. I had to choose the best one. It's like Green Earth or Green Eggs and Ham. Alright, I told myself I wouldn't refer to popular cultural references, but this is Jeremy, aka Mr. Variety, Jeremy DeNovo. Thank you. Who needs designers? Who needs designers? Just recorded my mission statement on that microphone, and through this contraption here, right there is it's got 2 sandbags in there, and it's clamped down so that way that actually pulls that down, pulls the microphone up, and there's a clamp there to keep the. There's a lot of mechanisms, but yep. Hello everyone, this is Jeremy DeNovo. Many of you people know me from Delaware, Ohio. Yeah. And Jeremy DeNovo, you also may know me as Mr. Variety, because I'm bold and daring sometimes. But many people, even though you know you don't know, even though you know you don't know, 3 years ago, I had brain surgery. So I had a simple choice. I either could be living, and among the living, and with a modified cranium, or I could just be in the deep six. I am also Jeremy DeNovo, also known as the owner and operator of DustyBootsworth.com. That's D-U-S-T-Y, Boots, B-O-O-T-S, Worth. Don't forget the Worth. That's DustyBootsworth.com. And that's for Jeremy's music, which I haven't written much lately, because obviously I've been getting busy living, as the movie says, or your internal Morgan Freeman says. Anyway, too many name drops. But anyway, this is Jeremy, aka whatever. Jeremy DeNovo, Delaware, Ohio. I'm also starting a new website. It's currently under construction. I am the owner and operator of a new website called WhoNeedsDesigners.com. That's Who Needs Designers with a Z, as in zebra.com. Now, I could probably get WhoNeedsDesigners.com not spelled with a Z, but so WHONEEDSDEZI. I can't even spell the word designers. I mean, who really can? So WHONEEDSDEZIGNERS.com. WhoNeedsDesigners.com with a Z. So the reason for this recording, or video, however you're seeing it or hearing it or reading it, because I pay the money for the captions. The reason for this communication is that I'm trying to redesign my whole life. Because the fact of the matter, without actually looking at the script, is I need to redesign my life. I know certain facts. One, that I can barely work the full-time job I'm working right now, which is okay. I'm still getting by. But I also know that in addition to the fact that I cannot work a second job, because that would just kill me. If I cannot handle my main full-time job and the stresses that causes, well, with my health condition, I can definitely not work a second job, like a part-time job. So the only solution, in order to try to make ends meet, or at least to try to communicate with people outside of Facebook and Mark Zuckerberg jerking your chain all the time, trying to get you off balance. The Zuck is not cool sometimes. But that's why you can make your own website. That's why I made my own website. WhoNeedsDesigners.com. WhoNeedsDesigners.com. That's WHONEEDSDEZIGNERS.com. That's WhoNeedsDesigners.com with a Z. And that's why I'm designing that site. That's currently under construction. So if you're trying to visit it, thanks. But there's nothing on it. Or there is, and you tuned in later. Cool, thanks. How's it going? My name's Jeremy, a.k.a. whatever I have to be in order to make a living and still be here on planet Earth. So, back to the story. We're about 5 minutes in. 3 years ago, I had brain surgery. I had the decision of, do I do the surgery, or do I just do a long game of limbo? How low can I go? I think about 6 feet's good enough for me, No, I decided to do brain surgery. And I had a condition I was born with. It was called cavernoma. It's CAVERNOMA. It's cavernoma. And that's characterized by a weak set of blood vessels that are inside of the brain area, that when they have pressure put on them, they leak blood into the place that's not supposed to have blood leak into it, the brain. And so blood leaking on the brain is another word for stroke. Yeah, not the one that we listen to with the cool movies, like stroke, stroke. Not that one, but the kind you don't want to have, the kind you want to remember. Okay, can the person give you a big smile? Can the person say the same sentence twice in a row? If not, call 911, because that person may just have seconds to live. You don't know. Call 911 fast. Don't be smart. Be like, oh, well, grandma can take it. Dad's a tough bird. No. A stroke can kill you. Call 911. I don't care what the emergency bill costs. Guess what? It's better than, well, not having your aunt or your uncle or whoever that is having a stroke and not being there. Call 911. Hit 911 for emergency, and a stroke definitely is an emergency. But I'm not here to tell you about strokes. I'm going to tell you, I was basically having one because of the fact I had cavernoma. So you might have a question, and this is really a good Q&A. I asked the questions and that many people have asked many times before, and I try to give the answers, my best answers that I've tried to think of. How did I come to need brain surgery? Well, when I was born with this with the weak blood vessels in my head, it was not a big deal. But fast forward to doing some dental surgery, and you know how you need to do a tooth extraction. Well, nobody wants to do that, but I needed to because it was an infected tooth. It had to come out. So I did the tooth extraction at the dentist, and you know, you sign the form at the dentist's office that says, hey, we will not hold you liable in case something weird happens. Well, something weird happened, but it has nothing to do with what the dentist did. So the dentist, once removing the extracted tooth, explained very clearly to me before the procedure was completed that a blood vessel that was no longer needed because the tooth was no longer there, that blood vessel needed to be closed or sealed up or cured or whatever you want to call it. I don't know what they do, but they just stop that blood vessel, stop that blood flow. Well, as you know in theater, one door closes, another door opens. Well, they closed that blood vessel there at the dentist, and what happened was I started noticing a bit of a pulsing sensation in the back of my head. Nothing great or very painful, but just really odd. And I started looking around like, hey, what's going on here? I don't really know what's going on, why I'm feeling this. And nobody could tell me really anything. I stopped at the doctor's office. The doctor's like, you're fine. You're really healthy. All your blood tests come back as great. And like, of course they do. Because we're not testing the area that I think is wrong, which, I needed a CAT scan or a brain scan. I needed to get my brain looked at. So anyway, after all those tests, everyone's just really super convinced that it was fine. Now, I had one doctor suggest, hey, you should just take a bunch of NSAIDs, NSAIDs, or basically they're salt. It's a salt, like ibuprofen. Take a bunch of that. Well, that actually probably could have killed me because ibuprofen is also a blood thinner. And so if my blood is already at risk of coming out of me very quickly because of my cavernoma, my weak blood cells, guess what? The thinner the blood, the easier it's gonna flood through my brain, and the less it's gonna clot. That's it's just gonna be. So anyway, I had a lot of suggestions, but none of them were right, except for after I finally get the brain scan I needed, and the X-ray technician saying, so what side of your head did you say that you were feeling that sensation on? I said, this side. He's like, uh-oh. The X-ray technician's like, oh no, we're going to have to keep you overnight. I'm like, oh. And at the same time, I was extremely excited because I'm like, finally, somebody actually believes me and actually understands that there's something real that's going on in my head, because no one wants to talk about or even discuss, oh, well, let's just go ahead and put you on the scanner that probably it could cost a whole lot of money to have you scanned. I'm like, but that's exactly what I needed. Because what I was feeling, that pulsation feeling in the back of my head after I had my blood vessel closed off at the dentist office. Well, anyway, some time went on, and I was trying to, and as time went on, they kept me for at least a week to observe and test me and to diagnose my cavernoma. They kept me over at, why I cannot remember it? Well, I don't feel so guilty anymore because, well, I had brain surgery. But I do remember it's the neurosciences office there off of Route 315, Columbus, Ohio, Riverside, I think. I think that's it. If memory serves correct. I'm doing all this without a script. It's had to have a one-to-one, a heart-to-heart with you. What you might say to the tune of a conversation, So they kept me there for about a week at Riverside, and I decided, well, geez, I'm no fool. I know what brain surgery means, and it's the kind of surgery that everyone is always comparing to rocket science. I'm like, well, it's not rocket science. What do you tell a rocket scientist? Well, it's not brain surgery. Well, it's like, wait, no. Actually. So, I decided, well, I'm no fool. I know what this means. I need to make all of my last rites. I need to make all of my documentation correct. I need to go see a lawyer, get my affairs in order, and say, look, if I decide, or if my body decides that this is all I wrote, then here is a last will and testament of where all my crap goes, and to make it way easier on the people that I really love and care, and I do not want to leave a burden behind. So that's why when I decided to get my, sorry, I'm leaning on my bed here, in my bedroom. It's where my recording studio is here. Well, portable one. It's real nice and quiet in here, I have to say. But anyway, that's by design. Well, getting back on track, I got my affairs in order. Fast forward to, okay, we're fine. I got the surgery. I don't need to tell you all the details. Got the surgery. Was feeling pretty good. About the first few months, by the first 3 months, I was doing nothing because I had to sit there and recover. Now, during those 3 months, had I had another person there, you see, because before you get brain surgery, and even during the time when the nurses and staff are monitoring you, you'll be asked oftentimes the question, hey, do you have anyone close to you that can care for you? And you'll be asked that question often because they're basically hinting at you might need help from someone if you can't do something that you need to do in order to survive. Anyway, I said, no, I don't. I just have me, and I'm the man, basically. I'll try to speed this up a little bit. So I could have actually had talked to a lawyer and said, look, the magic word, and I'm not a lawyer, I'm not an accountant, I'm not a doctor. So if by this point in time you're like, well, this guy knows what he's talking about. No, I just know how to keep myself alive. You need to talk to a doctor, a lawyer, an accountant, or someone that's held accountable by the public. Not me. Geesh. I may have ideas, but I'm not certified. There. That's disclaimered. At the same time, though, I could have gotten disability because of the fact that I wasn't working any hours at the time because I was sitting recovering. not expected to get back to work until 3 months later. You know, I could have got disability. Would have been great, I think, if I just decided to do that. But that's not what I decided to do. Because, well, I just had brain surgery. I had a lot on my mind, if you know what I'm saying. And at the time, it was, you know, you wake up from brain surgery, you pretty much just wake up like, what's going on here? I mean, I know I'm still here, but is this my body? What's going on? It's really weird. The brain weirdness is real. And only people that have really had the brain weirdness know about the brain weirdness. And it's actually by name, the brain weirdness. Look into it. It's pretty cool. Maybe. So anyway, I could have had disability, but because I was alone and in the areas of, you know, pursuing such a thing, I lived alone and I was recuperating by myself with the help of a lot of other people, I should say. And I'm not going to say names because they know who they are, and I'm not here to publicly, hey, everybody, you know. But I had a lot of help, but I didn't have help like that. It was just help like, hey, you're going to get back to work. Like, okay, getting back to work, cool, yeah. Still here, woo, you know. Like, yeah, and I still am still here, you know, knock on wood. Yeah, whatever that was. It's a wood with some tape on it. Yep, hand cut. Custom hand cut, custom measured. Yeah, okay. Moving on. So, the reason for my website, well, let's just here. So, got the brain surgery, and about 6 months total go by. I'm back to work, you know, for about a month or so, and I'm feeling pretty freaking awesome. I'm riding my bike every once in a while. You know, nothing too fancy, but sometimes I just decide to go on a bike ride. It's cool. I'm not on that much medication at all for my headaches because they didn't really have them for the first 6 months because everything was kind of, you know, kind of gooey. You know, I mean, everything was healed and solid enough for me to be on my feet and out and about, but, you know, but things did not completely. Now, I don't know for a fact, but I think it is after 2 years after a surgery is when your scar tissue really locks up. But I don't know for a fact. I think that's something I was reading. About 2 years. But don't quote me on that. Oh my gosh. Ooh, that was some cracking body right there. So anyway, that I have researched, but anyway, 6 months. Okay, so about a year goes by, grand total of a year after the surgery. I'm starting to notice I have headaches, and they just don't go away. And it's hard to sleep. I'm restless. It's hard to sleep. And so the doctor and I we're tiptoeing our way, and the doctor's like, "Hey, offer. Here, try this. I'm just like. And doctor's office also like, hey, you know, it's okay if you don't want to, you know, do what you feel you need to do. You know, I appreciate the doctor at, you know, Ohio Health. You know, I really appreciate that. And I'm not pitching, hey, Ohio Health up in here. It's just a matter of fact. That's where I landed, you know. And at the same time, I'm not saying, I'm neither confirming nor denying the quality of health over Ohio Health. You be the judge. But I'm just saying, you know, I appreciate my doctor very much. You know, if it weren't for my doctor listening, I would not be here blowing hot air into this microphone, or even having a microphone to blow hot air into, you know, because, well, I had to work for that, you know, earn the money for it. But about a year goes by, I'm starting to have pains, you know, headaches. It's more common to the line of restlessness. I'm like, I can't seem to sleep. I seem to be tired all the time, doc. What's going on with me, doctor? And so just try more and more medication, but fast forward to now. Okay, now I take Toradol. It's just a pain relief booster shot. It's an injection. I get it about once per month because that's about what time when I usually get the headaches. Now, there are other methods that I use to try to, you know, avoid using Toradol. because, you know, there's other methods that should be tried first. But if those don't work, you know, that's all I'm up to doing is just getting that pain relief booster shot. And I receive a regular basis shot of that to try to help to regulate my sleep as well. So here's the facts, hard facts. Now, 3 years after my surgery, I learned from the neurologist the fact of the matter is that in order for my surgery to have taken place, an incision had to be made, which I was informed of the incision and that it had to go through my scalp in order to get into my skull to perform the cure that is keeping me alive. That I understood back then. What I did not understand, and maybe could be communicated better in the future, is that the idea is that, you know, I may be living with a headache for the rest of my life that I'm going to have to maintain with medication. That probably could have been communicated to me. But hey, you know, who's perfect? I'm happy I'm here now that I get the chance to complain. Yay, opportunity. But at the same time, I'm not complaining too much. I'm just saying I probably should have been informed of that. I could probably be having headaches for the rest of my life, you know, though I'd be living and probably not having headaches every single day. You know, probably having an enjoyable life for the majority of my life, you know, and then for a good amount of time, you're going to have to deal with headaches that medication will reverse, but you just need to basically take a big time out. And so the greatest amount of time I've had a headache, like the downtime from headache start time to medication activation and end time, the greatest amount of time is about 2.5 weeks, and that's extremely long. Most times, well, the fastest amount of time from the beginning of my noticeable headache to the end of the medication process of waiting for the medicine to situate is about 5 days, where I'm back to doing everything normal. 5 to 7 days. That's the least amount of time. Now that's no set expectation. You know, that is no set expectation at all. That's what I'm trying to get across here with this recording, is that there are no set expectations with me. Now, what I do have is the understanding is that my condition is neurosurgical. It's not neurological as much as it is. I think it's neurosurgical. Don't quote me on that. I'm not a neurologist, nor am I a neurosurgeon. However, examining the facts, we do know that I had an incision cut into the back of my head, into my scalp, in order for the neurosurgeon to gain access to the area of my skull to essentially cure me. That area of the scalp that I was incised into, well, let's examine that. When there's an incision or a large cut or abrasion going into, around, or through a nerve or nerve ending, that causes nerve damage, okay? And a damaged nerve can cause pain, tingling, sensation, a list of things. You know, look up nerve damage, figure it out for yourself. I'm not a doctor. Okay, we do know that I have had that incision in the back of my scalp, and then it seems to me every single time that I get a really bad headache, all that pain is focused right around the plate, the fatty part around that incision point. That's the most sensitive area. If I brush my fingers over top of it, it is the most sensitive. It feels like pins and needles. Just brushing my finger over top of it. If I press it, it's real bad. And that's just real dumb. Don't do that if it hurts, you know. So it seems like that seems to be the control group of my situation, is that all of the things that are going on with me to a critical degree are on the outside of my skull. So maybe, hopefully, neurosurgery and perhaps even neurology can advance and become better to the degree. Now, I was reading some interesting facts at, I think it's orthobiologics, I think. It can help by using needles to insert into the scar tissue around scarred nerves, and then inserting needles that will inject orthobiologics into the area and break up the scar tissue and allow the nerve. Now, I don't know if it's allowing the nerve to grow further or function better or whatever it is, but the idea is that it allows that nerve to have a second life instead of it just dangling there saying, boy, if I only had a nerve, it's not like that. But but I was reading up on that. That's interesting for at least orthodontics. I think that's it. Sports medicine, that kind of thing. Anything with what they call so there's the central nervous system, which is strictly brain and spine. That's central nervous system. And then there's your peripheral nervous system. Those are the two parts of your nervous system. The orthodontics, the orthobiologics, I think it's something called along the lines of, what do they call that? Ultrasound guided, and it has something that guides needles to inject fluids, into the cartilage, or not, sorry, the cartilage, but this is what happens when you have brain surgery, or when you have brain surgery, or just a long day. You start forgetting stuff. But anyway, interesting developments in science, but they need to just bring this forth so that I don't have to have a headache half of my life, because it's on my scalp, and I think there could be something done to where some scientist out there says, you know what? These brain surgery patients are great, but you know what really sucks about them? They have headaches that they shouldn't be having because, well, I don't know the ins and outs, or all the facts, but I just hope one day that my condition can be treated to where I don't have to have one single headache ever, But right now it's looking like, because of the nerve endings on my scalp, being severed as they are and being blocked by the scar tissue where the incision was made, there's not really much that can be done as it stands if we're looking at a prognosis instead of a diagnosis. Prognosis just says, hey, here's your broken head. See ya. Looks like this is what it's going to be like for the rest of your life because no one's going to do anything about it. That's a prognosis. We want a diagnosis. Root cause analysis. Look to the roots, nourish the roots. How do we nourish the roots? Yeah, I know I sound pretty big right now, but I'm not. You see, I'm just a little guy. But big voice. We all got big voices, So we can say something. We just got to practice. But anyway, root diagnosis. So hopefully some scientist out there can diagnose what's going on and say, you know what? We can figure out how not to be dummies anymore. We're actually smart. We're smarties, Let's do things that are smart, But, so let me just check my notes again. Sorry. Checking the notes. All right, so let's see what we got here. Notes. Okay, let me just read some stuff. Thankfully, my headache's not too bad right now. Now, another thing you might need to know is that plenty of sleep is the best medicine for someone with a condition like mine, which is related to neurology and neurosurgery. And looking around for some notes here. Okay, here we go. let's see here. I hope that science advances to where the scalp nerves can be reconnected, and that is a big part of the reason I am in the liberal arts, is to be a part of the voice of suggestion, to try to influence health and science. Imagine a world without Star Trek. Imagine a world without any science fiction. But then, at the same time, understand you don't have to imagine, because these stories, your story is a part of the science story. The power of suggestion, even if it's just fiction, the power of suggestion is something we all have. No special piece of paper nor degree is required, not even an associate's degree. Just say something, and that is all it takes to give anything flight. Eventually. And watch those babies flutter those wings. Of the great idea becoming a great plan, instead of the other way around, where it's a terrible idea. A great idea is a terrible plan. And again, I'm going to keep on working on my under construction website. That's whoneedsdesigners.com. That's whoneedsdesigners.com. That's whoneedsdesigners.com. Will serve, I hope, as a platform for representing how I really am. The rhythm of my headaches, the rhythm of my life, how it affects everyone, and how my life affects everything. Hopefully this platform can serve as a beacon of communication between me and everyone else in the world. I did make a big leap for the first time ever. I decided to purchase, instead of an annual membership for hosting my websites, I decided to do a biennial. That means every 2 years. I committed for 2 straight years on both my websites. So I do not have to pay next year, but I have to pay the following year after that for both my websites. So I have 2 years to get this right. I think my wisest move with the whoneedsdesigners.com with a Z is to give a very strong and a very clear exposition about the fact that I need to make a good living at what I am most passionate about, but very critically to also be super clear about the fact that my downtimes can be quite long and quite unexpected. I know that after 2 years of the patterns of my headaches, is that they often come at least one time per month. Not any certain time, but at least monthly. It seems my longest time to deal with total downtime caused by a headache and the effect of the medicine is about 2.5 weeks from headache start to medicine end. And then I'm back to doing more work. Now that's more of a rarity, is 2.5 weeks. Most times it's on average between 5 and 7 days and 2 weeks on average between those times, if you average those times out. But again, there's no set schedule. Another thing I receive a lot today is that people find out that I can do tailoring, and they say instantly, "This guy is a tailor," or they look at this guy, I can do audio recording. "This guy's an audio recording engineer." It's like, I can tailor, but don't give me anything with critical deadlines, because a headache can easily be a conflict, because the headache causes downtimes. Just understand that, we're both helping each other out. You're helping me to try to do what I want to do for the rest of my life that I've trained for my whole life. I think it'd be an incredible waste of talent and resources to just throw all the things I can do away. There are a lot of things I can do, between copy reading, which you can make $100 in 5 minutes on a good copy read, audio recording engineering, and even music recording, music production, which you can make at least $100 an hour, at least. That's crazy lowballing it though. There's also photography I can do, videography, including cutting videos, lighting videos, everything you can imagine in the music and picture department. And I've also been doing sewing. There's a lot of things I can do. That's why I'm going to make a website, so I can try to organize that a little bit better. So, take it with a grain of salt. Just enjoy this entertaining audio recording. Because right now I'm just philosophizing right now of what I should really be doing. Give my best communication and hopefully getting my best respect for my right audience. To try to meet in the middle and say, okay, you and I found each other. Let's help each other out, So I think I basically got what I had to say. But I want to be absolutely certain. Because right now, here's a goal of mine. We're 36 minutes in and some change. Okay, my goal, one of my goals is to get a well-rounded everything. Right now, I can barely afford to pay the bills. However, I work a job with people that are very wonderful people. They're very loving people and caring people. I don't want to leave that job. That job is guaranteeing I'm not going to get hurt, at least not by their intentions. You get all I asked for at a job is I want it to be safe, and I want it to be reliable. That's it. Those two things. That's all I ask, and I got it with this job. So I don't want to lose this. I do not want to leave this job. At some point in time, things may change. And I may have to actually move on from the job because of the fact that one thing in life that is constant is change. But at the same time, right now, I love the job I'm at. I love the town I'm in. I live in Delaware, Ohio. I'm a Delawarean. Yeah. I should get some water. Record pause. Just a professional tip. Anytime you're doing voice work, always keep it lubricated. Keep it moist. Keep it wet. And always keep water, a good, clean source of water, and coming out of clean containers that you air dry after you wash them with hot water, soapy water. Keep those clean containers filled with water and at least within 6 feet around you. And you'll be in good business. So I'm back. Had me some water. And I think I was talking about, oh yeah, that's right. Well-rounded everything. I love the job I'm in. I love the city I'm in. Delaware, Ohio. Woo! Hey, cool. I didn't get evicted. I was kind of loud there. Sorry, neighbors. But I need a car. I'm sorry. I need a car. You see, what I currently drive is called a death trap. Yeah, I call it the brand name. Let's see here, Death Trap Luxury Edition. It's a luxury. I haven't been killed yet by this piece of junk. The current vehicle I'm in, and this may change in time. I hope it does soon. The current would-be vehicle I'm in right now is the suspension is rusted. So I could just be bopping down the road one day and all of a sudden, oh, what do you know? I'm out of control. It's not anything I can do about it either. So I'm doing it mostly just driving around, get around town car. It's one step better than a beater with a heater. It's a get around town car to function, to comply, to pay the bills, keep the roof over my head, and to try to stay warm, safe, and fed. But it's not a car. It's a death trap, luxury edition, because it's a luxury. I'm still alive driving it, So I need an actual car, and I need to make at least $6,000 at least to get a decent vehicle that isn't gonna try to kill me. If I want to get a good down payment, at least in today's market, we're looking in 2025, the year of 2025. at least $5,000 as a good down payment. But I need to make a monthly payment of what, $400, $300 per month in order to keep paying for a good car that's actually a car. You know, that at the time engineers were looking at it, they're like, yeah, hey, this isn't going to kill anyone. Cool. You know, but I need a good car. Also, I'm tired of apartment living. Now, I do like apartment living. Don't get me wrong. It's a good place. If that's where you love to be, good. You know, get on it. But I like the idea of having a homestead. You know what a homestead is? Look it up. Look deeper into it. Understand that a homestead, and I'm not a lawyer, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, talk to a lawyer about a homestead and its benefits, but a homestead can really keep you in good shape, you know? Like, you can actually have a place to live because you own the home, you know? And that's where you live, so it's harder for you to get kicked out of that kind of place because you own it. It's yours, you know? And other than the fact that you don't have to look over your shoulder every single time, for the most part, when you own your home, it's yours, you know? Hey, if that's where I like to keep my rusty bucket of nails, that's where I like to keep, just get over it, okay? It's mine, you know? And you don't have to talk to anybody else about that. That's your deal. Sorry. I am sorry about my speech impediment. Sometimes that happens. That's another thing, too. If there's someone having trouble talking, and I should say this, 41 minutes and almost 42 minutes in, is that what it's like to have a really bad headache. And you're your job, and you have to greet people all day long. Hi, please, thanks, bye. You know, oh, you're welcome. Oftentimes, I have a hard time saying you're welcome. Sometimes I have a hard time saying hi because my head hurts so much. And that's partly what it's like having a headache. Another thing it's like having a headache like mine is what might be called migraines, because it's not just like I had a tooth pulled. You know, I have a serious head condition, health condition. Well, it also my balance is off, and it's hard to get my motor skills right and functioning when I have a headache. I mean, this is why I sit and I do nothing except for taking medicine and taking time off to sleep and to take it easy, because I literally cannot do anything. I would not be caught dead. You know, I would not be caught trying to use a sewing machine if my head hurts a lot, because that's a powerful machine that can really do some bad damage. So I just sit and I wait until my body's like, okay, I'm cool, let's rock, you know. But I don't know, I can't always have it good, you know. But that's what I'm trying to redesign. You know, I made this t-shirt based on this cool joke. And I will not name the Joker, but this Joker is funny. That's all you have to know. This t-shirt, it's, hey, I drive a DeLorean, the front of the t-shirt is, or at least the front of the joke is. Hey, I drive a DeLorean. And the back of the t-shirt, or the joke, is, yeah, I drive it from time to time. But then I advanced that joke a little bit further, thanks to another friend of mine who says, you know what, a DeLorean and a Pinto, but the DeLorean is a step above the Pinto in that class of cars that are really cool cars, but they just had such terrible design issues. Like, that's good information. Thanks. He said, yeah, you should say I drive a DeLorean, but it breaks down time to time. I'm like, okay, I get that. But I came up with something better. And I think everyone likes it. And I think that's the idea behind, what's one of the ideas behind whoneedsdesigners.com. And that's whoneedsdesigners.com. Let me screw all through this message here. Whoneedsdesigners.com. That's WHONEEDSDEZIGNERS.com. Who Needs Designers with a Z.com. One of those ideas is that, well, I own a DeLorean. Yeah, from time to time, it needs redesigned. Ooh, that hits home, doesn't it? You know, you watch the movie Back to the Future, and you realize, hey, science fiction. Wait, no. Somebody who's traveling through time may need to redesign the DeLorean for things that they had not discovered until they traveled into a different time period, where they need to have the compliance, which is fit, form, and function, to get back to the future, or the past, wherever they need to traverse their vessel of living, But from time to time, it needs redesigned, and that's where I'm at. I think from time to time, and the time is now. Oh yes, in the future. No, the time is now. That things need to be redesigned. Now, I know that's a really strong socio-political statement, but it's also a very true one. Like, aren't we all tired of being not nice people? The clinical term buttholes to each other. Are we just tired of being buttholes? Let's just all nod our butthole heads and say yes. We are tired of being buttholes to each other. We want a little bit of relax and recreation. We want some time off. We want a vacation. When do we want it? When do we want it? We want a vacation. When do we want it? We want it now. But anyway, I'm not going to shout too loudly because, again, I have neighbors. Again, I really need a house. And again, I need a car and not a death trap. I'm driving that around. I just don't need that. So if anyone has a really nice vehicle that is way under 100,000, I killed my car miles, because anything over 100,000 miles, it's like, you'll probably get at least a couple extra miles out of it. Then it's toast. I need it way under 100,000. We're talking way under 60,000 miles if you can get it on the odometer. Come on. The best car I ever bought in my life started with 40,000 miles on the odometer. It was sitting in a grandma's garage. Cool. But it lasted me like 15 years. Like, yeah, that's a car, dude. It carries you. Car. Anyway, let me forward to my notes and check anything I need to check, and just go up a little bit here. Let's see here. I need to, but one of these days, hopefully I can design the bridge to cross over to accomplish life-critical goals, and hopefully for me to be there is in the best ways I can be there, and never to get majorly shortchanged, and never to get basically cheated out of living a full and prosperous life. Well, it has been more than 5 minutes of me typing my mission statement here. Yeah. But I'm trying to perhaps make my own audio aids and also my own visual aids, because that seems to help people. And I do that using music, picture, comedy, and storytelling to try to create these audio and visual aids. And that's why I own a sewing machine. I own lots of microphones. I own a lot of good things I need to own in order to survive, because the man is not going to let me survive. The man's going to walk all over me and not even realize I exist until I'm a bloody puddle. That's what the man's going to do. But I need to do these things and be and design. I need to do these things in my life. I'm not going to be able to do it alone. I'm not going to be able to do this by working just a regular full-time job, because that's not going to be able to put the real bread on my table. That's going to put a table in front of me. If you saw how I lived, you'd be like, oh my God, how do you move? I'm like, I don't even know how I get out of the house. I mean, I got a lot of stuff I need to work on and do, but that's just the thing, I'm growing out of my pot, I don't grow pot, but I'm growing outside of the bounds of where I was originally planted. I need to continue to evolve and to move, and from time to time, this DeLorean needs redesigned, Anyway, that's all I have here to say. This is Jeremy DeNovo from Delaware, Ohio. For a lot of people in the world, they know me as Jeremy, aka Mr. Variety, and I still am. I just have to be also a variety of taking it easy sometime. And Variety Sessions is my brand. And Variety Sessions is where a session of variety can occur. That's it. Not, hey, watch my show. No, everywhere in the world, everywhere outside of the world, everywhere around the world is more than a show. Everywhere and all the time is a session where variety can shine. Okay. Anybody make me a sandwich yet? Nope, not yet. Been talking for about an hour. Okay, well, it's about 51 minutes and some change. This is Jeremy DeNovo from Delaware, Ohio, a Delawarean. Woo woo! And I'm just signing off here. I just wanted to make clear my goals, my intentions with my new website, whoneedsdesigners.com. That's with the letter Z, and that's whoneedsdesigners.com. That's WHONEEDSDEZIGNERS.com. whoneedsdesigners.com with a Z. And that's just that site right now is to support what I call fabric and design. But at the same time as we're redesigning the fabric of life, I'm trying to redesign my life so that people can understand how they can support it and how I can support them. You know, I'm not the same old guy I always once was. So, and also I have another website called DustyBootsworth.com, a little easier to remember. DUSTY Boots, BOOTS Worth. Don't forget the worth.com. DustyBootsworth.com. That's been running for at least 12 or 13 years now. Again, I'm the owner and operator of both sites. But the one I'm here to talk about is whoneedsdesigners.com. WHONEEDSDEZIGNERS.com. And hopefully, as time goes on, from time to time, we will be redesigned. This is Jeremy, aka Mr. Variety, Jeremy DeNovo of Delaware, Ohio. Woo woo, Delawarean. And talking to all y'all out there. All y'all know who y'all are. Everywhere. Whether you're from California, woo woo, or you're from other places I've been to, yeah. Or you're not, and you somehow like, what is this crap on the internet? It's cool. Well, hey, how's it going? This is Jeremy. What's up? It's your buddy. You can contact me, DustyBootsworth.tv. That's DUSTY Boots, BOOTS Worth. Don't forget the Worth. That's DustyBootsworth.tv. You can contact me. Easy as that. I designed the website, so you can just email me. Email me an email. You know, you'll have to go through my screener, but hey, it's you, it's me. And contact me on DustyBootsworth.tv. This is Jeremy, aka Mr. Variety, Jeremy DeNovo of Delaware, Ohio. And hopefully to be of the country, the United States of America, I'd love to come and visit you. So long as I don't have health conditions. And that health above all, and to improve. This is Jeremy, and I'm signing out. Thank you. And I bid thee farewell, and good tidings.
I'm outside and Chloe's inside. Let's see if she sees me.